We've all heard of the elevator speech. However, the problem is that has become very cliche, very boring. So instead of looking and developing an elevator speech, let's look at developing a networking speech in which we connect better with those we intend to. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. This is one of the aspects of an elevator speech that we disliked, is because it felt canned. However, if you do have an idea of a direction of an introduction and you have it prepared so that that way you can utilize it, then you do have an opportunity. That's not canned and boring, but still gives that preparation to meet that opportunity. What we want to talk about is networking or elevator speech, the components of a networking speech, when and where they're used, and what does the future look like for them? First, what is it? Well, in this case, it's a quick pitch of an idea. It's a beginning of a conversation. It's not an entire encapsulated conversation that's being thrown together for 60 seconds. Instead, it is a way to start an idea on promoting yourself, promoting your company, promoting an idea or brand. It's related to a persuasive speech because it's continuing with many of the same elements you see in a persuasive speech. You have that attention getter, you have to connect, and you must have an action statement at the end in order to keep that conversation going. Our goal is still our audience. Those are the people we are truly most focused on when we are looking at doing a networking speech. It's not about us. This focus should be on your audience. And we are there to bless them with an idea. We are there to bless them with our thoughts. We're not trying to impress them. We're not talking at them. We're talking with them. We don't want to become obnoxious. This is the problem people have with an elevator speech. It becomes obnoxious. And if they say no, they close that door. And for that reason, we want it to be a networking speech where you're not obnoxious, you're focused on your audience, and you're opening those doors. You want it to be a conversation starter. You don't want to have everything you have to give to a company, to an organization to be presented in 60 seconds. That's a very limited value to them. Instead, you want it to be something that when you put it together, it opens up another conversation, more time, a block of time, an hour appointment, a 45-minute appointment, something where you can actually truly bring what you have to the table and demonstrate it to them. How it flows? You start off with that attention getter, focused on your audience. Something along the lines of, oh, I see you're from the Human Resources Department. I know you've had trouble recruiting. That's important to them. It catches on. Oh, you're from that company. That company is really growing. You're having a lot of success. Very good attention getters. Where your audience comes up and sees you're not over there saying, hi, my name is, and I'm here to do this for you. No, you're talking about what they love, them. You develop some credibility within your introduction. Why, I've had 5 years experience doing this in this field. Well, did you read my last article that I wrote? I'm at the university, and that's been my focus of study for the last 3 years. Boom. Suddenly you're focused on them. You're telling them, hey, I'm of value to you. Then you're going to share an idea, something that you're going to give a little bit of, not the full thing, so that that way, as I've been doing my research in school, and I have found that the experts are saying this, and perhaps you can go a little bit more, you can get their feedback. You don't want it to just be talking at them again. You want to have that reciprocal relationship going on. So give them something to talk to you about. Let them expand the conversation. Finally, close it with that action. I've enjoyed speaking with you. This has been a wonderful experience. Can I come by your office next week? Maybe we can talk. You know that opening you have, maybe I could help you with that. You can easily at that point give a action statement with a question or a tease. And this would be a case of, let's meet next Tuesday. When is it a good time to meet with you? I'd love to share more of my ideas. All those, once again, remain focused on your audience, not on you, and you're setting up another networking opportunity. When you look at the persuasion slide here, your effort is all going into building up, looking at, hey, I'm going to this networking opportunity. Who might I meet? And what would be important to them? You could do a little research on their company. You could do a little bit of background of where their company comes from, their values, what's important to that company. That's your effort. That's what moves you up the slide. Then you need to let gravity take over. You need to go over there and do that introduction, that reach out, that handshake, and then let yourself utilize your networking speech to move you to where you're trying to go. All this time, you're remaining focused on your audience, their needs, and if they say no, it's okay because you haven't hurt that relationship. Here are some elements that you can look at that reflects what is effective. If you have reciprocity, this means you're giving them something so you can get something back. Perhaps it's a case of, I've really appreciated this time. I've enjoyed taking out this time. What about if I set up another time where I can bring you some information? I can bring this to you. And that's going to make them go, oh, you're bringing me something. Well, I need to give you something back. I'll give you that appointment. Consistency. If you say you're going to be there and you are there, that's going to help. So you want to have that consistency, social proof. This situation, you could be using social proof like companies that have hired people from our program have found that their sales improves 50%. Or something of that type where you're saying others that have brought in a person with my background, with my knowledge, have benefited. You want to show that you like them. Your company is doing great things. I really appreciate what you're doing. Helps. Authority. This is where you can utilize some of the aspects of what you've learned in college. And you can say, the study done by the Wall Street Journal. Anything of that variety. Or scarcity. There's not a lot of people graduating from this program right now, and those that are graduating are getting hired rapidly. I'd like to talk to your company because it really has shown me and demonstrated a lot of values I like. You can be a scarce aspect of it where, hey, there's only one me, so you need to hire me. You can absolutely incorporate storytelling. Short stories utilized in a presentation or networking opportunity allows the person to take your perspective and allows them to appreciate you. Just last week, we're talking in class about this. And you know what my professor said, and this is what we thought in the class too. That's a short story. It helps your person you're networking with share your perspective. While it might seem cliche, one of the areas that you can absolutely use a networking speech is in an elevator. That's where that original term came from. The time that you get into an elevator to they arrive on their floor, about 30 to 60 seconds. And that's where the idea came from. But we don't want it just to be the standard networking speech where you just switch off, go into your speech, and switch back on. No, you want to be on the whole time. Business events, business gatherings. Perhaps a job fair is another location where you could utilize your networking speech. A social gathering. Of course, a social gathering, you want to make sure you keep it high on the conversation starter aspect of it, not so much in the business, because they're at a social gathering. They really do not look forward to being pitched while they're at a social gathering. But if you have a conversation, that's different. Academics. Yes, academics is a location you can utilize this. Perhaps you're going to try to get a grant for a department. Perhaps you're trying for a scholarship. Perhaps there's a school you want to get into. All of those can become networking opportunities. There are other ones out there that you can think about and look at. Think about different aspects of technology with this. We might be seeing networking moving from that in-person to another type of setting, such as the future. In the future, we might see networking on social media. Indeed, all these other sites like LinkedIn, these are quasi-social, quasi-business opportunities for networking. Online events, Zoom meetings, team meetings that you're having via the computer, perhaps a conference you're attending via the computer. All these are opportunities. You might have an online interview. Perhaps it's something you'll submit with your resume, or you'll submit it with your job application. A quick 30 to 60 second networking speech could absolutely be tied in. Think about it. Look at future opportunities. Be creative. Don't only be creative in creating your networking speech, but be creative in where it might apply. So what we wanted to talk about was the networking or elevator speech. Let's focus on that networking, on starting those relationships. Components, how do you put one together? Where are they used, and what does it look like in the future? Remember, as in all speeches, you're not the center of the universe, your audience is. It is to be focused on your audience, to bless them with something you have to share with them. Create opportunities, open those doors. When you do your speech, remember, you don't need to fit in, because after all, you were born to stand out.